All right. So if you give anything to the homeless, God bless you, right? I think that that's going above and beyond, going the extra mile. And if you don't give to the homeless, I don't think that that makes you less of a person, because I don't think that not going the extra mile ever makes you less of a person, right? So if you don't give to the homeless, I'm not here to educate you. I'm not here to tell you why you should. I'm not here to say you're doing anything wrong. Nothing you're doing wrong, right? It's not your moral obligation to give to the homeless. If you do, though, you are going the extra mile, and I applaud that. Seriously, God bless you. You're doing a lot more than 90% of people on this world do, right? And I don't care if you give $1 or a bag of chips once in your lifetime, or if you give $100 to each homeless person you see, or a 5-star restaurant meal to every person you see every day and every time that you can, right? It's still going above and beyond, and just like thank you, right? But that leads me into what I want to talk about, and that is this sort of consensus that we have, that you should not give money to the homeless, and you should give them like things that they can use, so food, products, and other things that might help them. When I was young and I was in elementary school, my school used to do this thing where we used to make like hygiene bags. I forget what we call them, but they were little Ziploc bags, and we would put toothpaste, toothbrush, floss, condoms, tampons, wet wipes, and hand sanitizer, a lot of things like that, right? And it was just to provide homeless people with with hygienic means, I guess, like hygiene products, so they could do what regular people do and feel clean about it, or be clean about it and be safe about it, right? Because homeless people have needs too. And unfortunately, we tend to only think about food when we give to the homeless. We never think about hygiene, even if that's like nail clippers, which we also used to put in there. And then we used to give them out. The school didn't mean to teach what I'm about to say. And I don't even think it crossed their mind. Maybe it's just me overthinking it. But I think the implicit message that they were teaching is that you should not give money to the homeless, right? You should give them products, things that they can use. I didn't really think much of it. And now that I'm older, I see that it seems all of society feels this way, that you should give anything but money to the homeless. Why? Right? Well, it's obvious. We have this idea that homeless people are going to use their money for drugs, for alcohol, for weaponry, and for whatever other self destructive behaviors that we think they're going to use them for. And it makes sense, right? But what doesn't make sense to me is the fact that we're also willing to give money to our friends and to our family, knowing that they are going to engage in self-destructive behaviors, right? We cover the weed, we cover the alcohol, and that's that. And I get that the response is going to be, but Chris, those are two different things, right? You shouldn't compare a homeless person to an average young person. I get it, right? Because if a homeless person is drinking and smoking, that easily becomes fatal. When a regular average young adult is doing that, it doesn't become fatal because they have somewhere to come home to, and they have like social networks, right? But still, if you turn on the news, what do you see, right? Drunk teen this, high teen this, college party that, and all these sorts of problems that are a direct result of self-destructive behavior. And another big thing that's becoming really, really, really big is sexual assault and awareness to that sexual assault. A lot of times alcohol and drugs are disgustingly used as a weapon to make women vulnerable, right? So it's clear that all these sort of self-destructive behaviors, a lot of time, honestly, I would say lead to horrible situations as much as they lead to fun times, right? But we just ignore that and we help our friends engage in self-destructive behaviors. And again, I get that you can't really compare an average Joe to a homeless person, but at the end of the day, I just don't think that that's a good enough justification. when we're out here providing the means to self-destructive behavior for other people just because they're different. Just because someone is different, that to me never seems like a good enough justification, because it just doesn't. Second thing, right? And again, before I go on, I don't want to bash on anybody who doesn't give money or who is against giving money. I just want to give my opinion. Like I said in the beginning, if you give anything at all, God bless you. Honestly, God bless you. I just want to give my opinion and why I would recommend giving money, right? The second thing, it's this: in giving products, there's this fundamental assumption that we know best, that we know what they need. Unlike money, once you have a product, that is what you have. With money, you have choice. You have the freedom to choose what you want to do with it. And so, in giving somebody money, you're essentially giving them freedom, autonomy, and choice. And then they can use that money how they see fit. If they want to use it smartly or impulsively, that's up to them. But you gave them that choice. And I find that in life and throughout history, what people mostly fight for and what people are continuing to fight for in all societies on this earth, and not just groups of people, but even in relationships, even with your parents, it's the freedom to choose. That seems to be what everybody wants, just this autonomy to choose your own fate. But we deny that from homeless people. I don't see why, right? We like to talk about let bygones be bygones and just let people live the life that they want to live. But it's funny because the same people that are saying that stuff are the same ones not giving money to the homeless. Instead, you guys are giving products. I just don't see how that makes sense. I actually do see how it makes sense, right? Because you think you know best. You think that you know what that homeless person needs. And so you're going to give them what they need so that you don't give them money because you don't want them to do what you think they want. And you might even be wrong about that. I just don't think that this assumption that we know best is healthy. It never is. And it seems to be the root cause of every problem in every society ever. And it also just takes a lot of narcissism. You know, I'm young. I'm a college student. What do I know? What do you know? Seriously, right? These homeless people, they're what, 40, 50, 60, 70 years in age? Am I really narcissistic enough to think that I know more about life than them? And that seems to be how people think as well, right? Well, I must be smarter or you must be smarter. I mean, look at where you are in life and look at where they wound up in life. Clearly, they don't know what they're doing. So why would we give them money? I would give you money because you clearly are on the right path. I wouldn't give them money because look at where they are. They might even wind up even worse. The reason why I don't like that argument is because people who are anywhere in life, especially at this age or even into your 30s, most of what you have is not because of you. Your only job is to stay out of trouble. That is literally your only job from the day you are born. Stay out of trouble. And if you just stay out of trouble, you will probably wind up in a position that people think is the right path. You didn't actually do nothing. There's nowhere you could have gone wrong with your life unless you got into some serious trouble. And even when you get into trouble, a lot of times it doesn't cost you your home. It doesn't cost you your life. It doesn't really change your life the way that it changed the lives of these homeless people. So I just think it doesn't make any sense when people say that they're much wiser. Because what have you actually done? Nothing. And everything that you have is because of the support of other people. Everything that I have, 99% of everything that I have done and will do is because I've had the support of other people. Whether that's my family, whether those are my friends, whether that's financial aid offices giving me scholarship, whatever it is. It's because of other people. And my only job until here is stay out of trouble. And that's why I have such a huge problem when people applaud me for certain things, right? And I'm not trying to make this about myself, but it's just an example. Maybe you guys can relate. And maybe you guys know me and have done this to me, but a lot of times people say, "Oh, good job on this." Good. I try not to talk about it. I got honestly try and change the subject, or I just try to shut that down because everything that I have done is not me. All I have ever done is not stay out of trouble, and that's not hard to do. So how am I gonna sit here with this lack of responsibility and experience and say I am much wiser than a 40, 50, 60, 70-year old man or woman? I can't do that. If I sat them down and had a conversation about life, I know that they would school me. They have to be so much wiser. And God honestly, what have I been through? I've been through a fair share, but am I narcissistic enough to say that I have been through more than a homeless person? No, I'm not. I'm not. The maturity that they must gain from going through what they have gone through, that's got to be something incomparable. And that's got to be something. I feel like whatever wisdom they share to me is going to go right over my head because I don't even have what it takes to comprehend. Yeah, yeah, I'm just not that narcissistic enough to think that I know better or that I have more experience or that I'm better. Frankly, if most of you were in their position, you would have offed yourself for real. And they're still around. Think about that. A lot of y'all break down because your responsibilities are overwhelming. You wouldn't last a day in their shoes, and now here you are talking about how you know better than them. I don't know. I just can't get behind that. But yeah, those are basically the two reasons. Oh, a last reason, right? What's wrong with helping people engage in self-destructive behavior? What's wrong with it, right? If I was in such a stressful situation like that, and my only escape, let's say you were right, and it was alcohol and drugs, what's wrong with letting me get an escape from the horrible life that is, right? When you are sad, or when your friend is sad, or when somebody's sad, oftentimes we say, leave me alone. Just let me be alone for a little bit. And then we use that time, whether it's to drink, whether it's to smoke, whether it's to cry, whether it's to write, whether it's to listen to music, or whatever it is. We engage in our little escape, and it makes us feel better because sometimes that's all that you want. It's just to get an escape from everything that you have going on. Sometimes that's all that we want. And sometimes that's all that we want to give people because we know that they need it. You go through a breakup, right? Or you go through a bad semester, or you go through a family fight, and you're over here trying to engage in your escape. You're trying to de-stress. You're trying to relax. You're just trying to get into a better mental state. And that's all you want people to give you. But you don't want to give that to a homeless person who's suffering a lot more than you? I don't know. And so what if it's self-destructive? So what, right? Let bygones be bygones. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. This is going to be the most controversial thing that I say. And maybe a few years down, I will absolutely look back on this and think that I am stupid. But right now, for all of my life until this day, what I think is this. If I know that my money is going to a homeless person that is engaging in self-destructive behavior, but that is what they want to do, I'm cool with giving it. I much rather have them live a life closer to peace, even if it's shorter. Right? You're here to live a good life, not a long one. Think about that, especially when you're suffering down bad like that. But again, this is just my opinion. If you give anything at all, God bless you. I'm really not here to bash anybody. I'm not even here to say that I'm right. I know that I could be wrong, but it's just what I think. It is just something that I wanted to say. But yeah, please let me know what you think. Stay safe, and thanks for listening.